that you weren't expecting to see us like this for this episode. We regret to inform everyone that the camera that we've been using has decided to take a shit.
To put it lightly.
So we recorded this episode and lost the whole thing.
We do have the audio, which we are a podcast, which is important for a podcast. So we have all the audio and we have all the like extra clips that we were going to include in this episode. You just won't be able to see us talking in between the clips, which is highly infuriating to us. We've already yelled about it quite a bit.
We didn't realize it until we were completed. So
yeah,
we're a little bit angry, but it's fine because we're going to work on getting a new camera here
very soon,
shortly. We will still be putting out content in the video capacity. It will just be much lower in quality than you're used to.
Sorry.
So
we're making do with what we got, guys.
Yes. So we're very sorry that this episode isn't quite what we expected or probably what you expected. But all of the evidence is still going to be in here and you're just not going to be able to see our faces when we're talking.
Yeah, like I said, we still have the whole episode in audio form, so we're just going to put that out on YouTube like we did for season 1 and I think a good portion of season 2.
Yep.
But it is important to note that all of the evidence videos will still be in the video.
Yes.
So please keep watching to see the evidence.
And please enjoy.
Thank you. We fucking suck! Stop! Turn off!
Welcome back to Sunday Night Spookies, the podcast dedicated to exploring the mysterious and the spooky unknown. My name is Lex.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is episode 2, Sarah's House Investigation, part 3.
Yay! So if you are new to our channel or our podcast, I live in a haunted house.
Yes.
We've done 2 previous, recorded investigations before.
Yes.
We've been investigating in it for a few years now. Fucking around with shit.
Right, usually.
So if you haven't already watched the previous 2 episodes, we suggest that you do that because we give you the whole lowdown, especially in the first.
Yep.
The Sarah's House investigation in the first season, we do a whole lowdown of everything. We're gonna give you a brief lowdown right now.
Yeah. House was built in 1947, so not really that old.
Not really that old.
In the grand scheme of things. We've done many sessions. And so the house has a basement, a main floor, and a loft attic.
Yeah, it's got the second floor of the house is basically just a little landing and then a bedroom and then attic access. And the upstairs is not off limits, but pretty much mostly off limits. It's the activity is always changing here, and the rest of the episode will just prove that. At one point we were convinced that there was some kind of vortex upstairs because the activity is never the same. There's maybe 1 or 2 things that will stay consistent.
Yep.
But other than that, it's always different.
It's always we're talking to somebody new every single time.
Every time we do it.
And I don't think we've even recorded it for the podcast. When we had that lamp that flickered a lot.
Oh, that was before the podcast.
I miss that lamp.
I know. I had this
Doesn't
old.
work anymore.
No, it's fried. I had this old. It looked like a cherry blossom tree. Just this little maybe a foot high little thing, and there's a switch on it where the cherry blossoms would light up, and that was kind of our first real go around. I was moving at one point. I had my desk in the loft area is big enough to house a desk and a chair and could be a little study spot. And so at one point I had all of my stuff up there like that. And the one day I was cleaning and moving stuff around, and that light was just going off and just flickering, and that kind of started it all.
Yeah, you were can you do that again? And it did.
It was doing it on command, which is really cool.
And not to get into that whole investigation, right? But we've had a lot of investigations here, and I want to say that a kind of a negative dipping point was we had a weird experience, and then we decided to put salt and obsidian all over your entire house.
We had jars of salt and obsidian,
and then it stopped.
It stopped for a good while.
It was abruptly. It seemed
Yeah.
even if we were seeking out something, it was really quiet.
Yeah.
So like, this investigation that we just did was kind of like the first time that it's been like, whoa, what the hell?
Yeah, well, I think probably because I went and took all the salt and obsidian down.
I mean, how long is it good for, really? You know?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, because we, like, blessed it, and it was like, okay, this was here because we had, like, really some negative interactions that we didn't like.
Yeah.
But that was a while ago.
A long while.
And so I'm like, is the attention still there? You know? So I took them all down because I like to risk it all and live on the edge. And we usually do at least one investigation every season of my house because, like we said, the activity is constantly changing. And this investigation was freaking wild.
It was very wild. Yep.
There's a ton of stuff. This isn't new stuff that happened. And we do it just like any other investigation. Like, we go through the checklist of any other investigation that we do. We don't treat it, especially because it's my house.
Right.
We don't do anything different because it's my house. We use the same equipment. But... And we were kind of, like, late to the game. We, like, decided we had to do this, like, one night. We're like, oh, shit, this is coming up.
This episode has to be out, like... I don't even want to admit how soon between, like, this recording and... Like,
when you guys are going to hear it and watch it.
Like, I'm ashamed of our time management. But we were like, oh no.
Yeah, so we just decided to do it one night because we basically had to. It was like the only night we could do it. And if you're watching on YouTube, and you don't really watch on YouTube, thank you for visiting. Because this is one of those, and if you're listening on the podcast app, please stop and go watch the video.
Go watch the YouTube video.
Because we have a lot of visual evidence this time. And I'm going to be inserting, like, random videos here and there of all the evidence we've gotten. So if you're not already watching, please go watch. If you are watching, welcome.
And, you know, if our video quality is a little shaky, it's because camera guy Dylan couldn't come.
Yeah.
But then again, we asked him the day of. So.
Yeah, that was our fault. We suck. Camera guy Dylan is definitely coming back.
Yeah.
We miss camera guy Dylan.
He's still our camera guy, but we are terrible people. So.
Yeah, our time management needs a lot of work.
But we're here.
So we started off like an investigation with an EMF sweep.
I did the EMF sweep. Okay.
This comes up later.
Personally.
Yeah, okay? And I watched you do it.
And I walked through every nook and cranny except for her room and the spare room because we don't go in there.
Yeah, okay? It's kind of trashed in those rooms, so we don't.
I did the whole thing. I went into her little office and I put the EMF detector in front of her face when she was on the computer. And I did the whole sweep. So when I tell you that I did the EMF sweep, I held it at waist level like you're supposed to. And the entire main floor, because that's really all we stayed on because it was so eventful.
Normally we like get some balls halfway through and go upstairs, but we didn't need to this time.
I also did not have the balls.
No, not after like some of the stuff that was happening tonight. We're like, I don't know if I want to go upstairs, and we don't ever do the basement, which is where we are now. We could record in the basement. I don't know why.
I don't know either. Take my word for it when I say the entire house read flat zeros, except the back of the fridge, in which I had to put the EMF detector against the back of the fridge. Yeah. Which we aren't in the kitchen when we record. No. But I just wanted to debunk. Like, let's say it's giving off like 300 or something.
Stupid.
Whatever. Yeah. Maybe it could leak. It's not. It gave off like a 35 or something, or 0.35 or something. It wasn't anything crazy. And the recliner in the living room, for full disclosure, the recliner's got like some kind of like weird mechanical armrest or something.
Well, okay, story. We bought that recliner at like this random estate sale, and Austin wanted it because it was marketed as a massaging recliner. It doesn't. It just vibrates.
That's not a massage.
The whole chair just vibrates, which is a weird concept. No, it is not, and I was very mad about it. But we didn't even have it plugged in.
No, but it still radiates some kind of EMF energy, but you have to put the EMF detector on top
of that one compartment that has like the motor in it.
So just, grain of salt. But it has to be right on top of the armrest for it to work, like actually sitting on it for it to react to the EMF
anything
detector.
like that.
Yeah. Solid zeros.
Solid zeros.
The whole room.
So after you did that, and I was done in the office, the first thing we usually do is set up the Connect. Because that takes like the longest to get going, get to open some programs, set up all the cords that go with everything. So we usually set that up first. And while we were setting it up, we caught a friend on it. And this one, we've cut a few for just spoiler. But we have cotton. That's cool. We have caught a few figures in this particular area before in previous investigations. So this first one, we could be debunkable. We couldn't debunk it in the moment. We're, screwing with it. So just for full disclosure, this first figure could just be a prank. Trick of the light or whatever. It was mapping something.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's like, because I have like a whiteboard right there and the thermostat. I don't know if it's trying to pick something up with the things that are on the wall.
Yeah.
But those are the only two things that are on the wall right there. So, I don't know. So, I have a clip of it and we'll show you.
But I don't see how... Okay, so my figure's messed up. I can see where my hand is. And I see how its head moves when I'm like...
Yeah.
Its head's moving. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure you out. See, his arm was crossing out. I was like, and that could be because I'm touching it, but it's not going anywhere.
No.
We can try to play a game. You can disappear for a second if you want, if that's easiest. Leave the room and then come right back. The problem I'm having is I can see that it's moving.
And it's clearly sitting on its knees.
It's not, to be fair, mine's moving too. I think it's probably just trying to read where I'm at. So we hadn't even gotten the spirit box going yet before we got kind of insane EMF readings. We got some in the middle of the room, which I had already walked through. I'm just saying, I already walked through and it was zeros before. Okay? Zeros. So we had some crazy readings in the middle of the room. We had crazy readings on a rocking chair that's in the living room. I think it's important to note that we were trying to debunk things as we were going, and so Sarah's house doesn't have forced air cooling. Is that what you call it? I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Central air. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
It's fine. I've only been on this earth for 27 years. It doesn't have central air.
Window units.
And so there's nothing blowing through any of the vents. We checked the PS4. And
my thermostat's off, by the way. I turned it off.
Right. And the PS4, it gave off a really, really light reading. But
if you set the EMF on the PS4.
Literally on top of it.
If you dropped it there and walked away, then it would read something.
Right. And so we checked a huge power strip that was by the TV. That didn't give off anything reading at all. So we checked and tried to debunk things, and we couldn't.
What's going to go on, man?
I don't know. I'm very confused. Solid zero.
And then it goes.
Are you changing the temperature?
Not
10.
Near anything.
20.
Oh, God damn it, I missed it. Oh!
Good job.
That's a dog's
How high can you make it go?
You're so close to 30.
You want the big numbers to say 30.
Lex.
Thank you so much.
My eyes are watering.
Wow.
Jesus.
My phone's not even over here. And that phone doesn't get notifications, right?
This is my phone, but I haven't gotten any notifications. Because the phone over there is in the tripod.
You see it?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What is it? Is it?
No.
I just want to make sure it's not your phone. But you're not close enough to it.
I'm not getting any notifications either.
I'm not either on my watch.
And my watch is over here.
My watch do. My watch doesn't even do it. Can you make it beep again? That was awesome. If you can't tell, we really liked it when it beeped.
We've never had this much activity on the EMF. And just, again, we are not around anything.
Oh.
Is it going?
22.
We're in the middle of my living room.
You walked away from it and it went up, so it's definitely not your phone.
We're in the middle of my living room. Like, we're not even by, like, a fridge or anything.
Right. If you're here, can you make it beep again? Just so we know for absolutely sure that you're here. Please. Make the big numbers say 030 for me.
You're getting there.
We know it takes a lot of energy, but a lot of people will be so very happy if you can make it beep again. So because we couldn't debunk it, we were like, let's see if we can get some kind of response on command. And we did. Things got a little bit crazy. Like, a little bit might be an understatement.
Slightly uncomfortably crazy. Like, it was aggressive. I feel like.
It was spirited. Oh, pun.
Pun. There we go.
It was a spirited interaction. Yeah.
Well, and at this point, we had the EMF sitting in the rocking chair. And the rocking chair we have is like not a family heirloom, but it's from a deceased family member. And so I was trying to see if, like, whoever it belonged to was, like, communicating, and I don't think that they were, because it just seemed more aggressive than what I would think.
Right. True that, though.
Because we asked it to beep on command, because it beeps at 0.30 is when, like, the red light comes on and, like, beep, 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 and anything above 0.30, it will continually beep. Yep. And it did. And we had to tell it to stop. We're like, okay, stop it. Right, we're going to move the EMF now. For a good few minutes, it just kept going off.
It was wild.
It's still fluctuating over there.
Look, it's sitting... Why? It's going to go up to 30. It's at 28 right now. And it was...
0. Can you make it go...
And it goes back.
What is in...
Can you do it again, please? Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Sushi.
Thank you so much. Sushi. Thank you so much.
Sushi.
That just maintained. It's just sitting there.
We've never... Listen.
We have never.
We have never had this high of an EMF spike in my house, and we've investigated so many times in here. It is going.
Can you make it stop? Can you make it stop for a long time? Why do I feel like it's messing with me? Stop. Nope, turn it off. It dropped to literally...
I can read the numbers now on the camera.
Can you drop the numbers to all zeros, please? Please? And then you can make it beep as much as you want. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to move it. If you don't want me to move it, make it beep, please. If you do want me to move it, make it beep. Can you turn it off again? Please?
Sushi. Sushi. I'm getting the heebie-jeebies.
I'm gonna move it. So can you please make it stop beeping? So, as you heard, definitely got some EMF responses. And
just a little, I'd say.
And in that last clip, they obviously wanted us to move it. Mm-hmm. Just crazy.
It was, that's why I said it was like kind of aggressive, because it was like,
non-freaking
okay, stop beeping.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah. Yep. And so our next little clip is our reaction, our slightly dramatic reaction to a figure on the Connect.
Yeah. So while we were, like, the Connect was kind of like to the side and behind us a little bit. Mm-hmm. And we were both looking at the rocking chair with the EMF, screwing at the EMF because it's going off. And then you said, we go to move it, and I turn around and notice that there's a friend standing next to us.
We're both like,
yeah, we're like,
it was
what?
a little bit much. It's fine. And then going up halfway, and then straight to zero. Very confused. Do we turn the spirit back? We haven't turned the spirit back. Oh.
That's...
Hello? Is that you? Can you make the EMF detector beep? The green light again?
Back up on a frame. My heart just dropped into my ass. I want you to know.
When did that get there?
I don't know.
I'm gonna check right when if it disappears. I'm going to turn off immediately. Check to see when that got there. Please.
Does it think that the two stupid thermostats?
I think it's a shoulder because that's like where it's cutting.
Right. But it's not there all the time. The EMF is still going.
I don't it was just.
It's still going. I don't get it.
0. Oh, 1, 2, 1.
It's like.
I think it might be time to break off this guy. But I want my phone. Should you?
Here.
I just don't want it to disappear.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if it disappears, it disappears. We can't just like keep it there in hopes that it's something. Right.
Is it okay if I grab this phone? I might have to cut in front of you. 0. Solid 0 over there.
Actually, 2. Just like that.
Oh, okay. Well, it was a solid 0, and it's a solid 0 now.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna reach in front of you and grab this phone. Okay. Why am I scared? Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you for letting me do that. That's great.
That does look like it's brushing itself off from me touching it. Okay, so we've got some rules that apply to. So now we turn the spirit box on. We're 40 minutes into the investigation.
Yeah, about.
This is like the longest span of time that we've gone on an investigation without having the spirit box on, but we were just getting so much
without it
that we were just like, wait,
preoccupied.
Just like, oh, no rush, because this is happening. So of course, as per usual, we turn the spirit box on, and before we can even like formulate a question, we get this. Hello. So the figure is still on the Connect at this point, and one of us goes, I think it's me, are you in the room with us? And we got a response. And it sounds like there's 3 words in a row. And I hate to say that I don't know what 2 of the words are, because I just hate putting clips in like that. Where I'm like, I'm not sure what this says. But the middle word definitely says house.
Yeah, and we thought that was relevant enough to include, even though we don't know what either word on the outside of the clip says. It says house.
Yeah.
So it's like, are you in the room with us? Something, house, something.
Right.
It's like...
So, take a listen. Let us know if you think that you know what the words are on either side of house.
Yeah.
Are you in the room with us?
So at this point, we had left the EMF in the rocking chair because we were preoccupied with the figure we found. And the figure was still there at this point. It was there for a while. And I noticed that the EMF isn't really reading anything in the chair anymore. Like, it's not going off. It might have a few little spikes here and there, but it's not doing anything.
It's not screaming at us.
Right.
From across the room.
So my thought process was, I'm going to move it closer to the figure that I see in the Connect. So I'm standing next to it. And I go, like, I'm going to move this EMF. Is that okay? Or I ask it if I can move it. And I hear, wait, on the spirit box.
Yep.
And I said, oh, no, okay, I'm going to leave it there.
Yep.
And then you hear, reach on the spirit box. Like, go reach for it. And I wasn't risking it. So I left it there for, I mean, I did end up moving it eventually, but I was like, I'm just going to leave it there. Well, can I move this EMF detector? Nope, not turn.
Did it go up?
Yeah, it does. That's fine, I'll leave it there. You can have it. So after I have been told to wait for the EMF, I said, I'm going to go sit on the couch, okay? Because the figure is still there, next to the couch. And you hear something come through the box go, okay.
Like right after. It was like literally right after.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit on the couch, Kay.
Okay.
Okay.
It was wild.
Yikes. Take your time. We know it takes some practice.
I'm going to come sit on the couch, okay?
So, of course, we hear like this little kid's voice and we're like, oh, hi. What's your name? And right after we hear a man's voice, like, hello. It's like really clear. And then a noise that we assume to be a name. But
I want it to be a name. It sounds like, I think when we were doing evidence review, the closest I could think of was Scott. But it doesn't say Scott. Like, it's not quite the right vowels.
It's Todd.
Something like that.
I don't know. But if you hear it, let us know.
Let us know what you think.
I'm assuming that it's like a direct response because I'm like, hello, what's your name? Hello.
Blank.
Something. But unfortunately, I don't know every man's name in the world.
Yeah.
So I can't apply each one individually and see if
go
it
through
fits.
go through the list.
Go through a list of like boy baby names and just like hope to finally find one. No. So let us know if you hear it. Hello.
That was so clear.
What's your name, sir? This next clip, I when I heard it, because normally what I do, like when I'm going over evidence, is like she does the video or whatever, I'll do the audio, and I'll play it, and then if I hear something wonky, I stop it. Or if I hear something in the spirit box that sounds like substantial in any way, I stop it, go back and re-listen to it. So this, I heard and I was like, what the hell is that? And so I went back, and at first I was like, that sounds like Monty, Sarah's dog, snoring, because she snores quite loudly.
I have a pit bull, and that's like her favorite thing to do is snore very loudly.
It wasn't Monty, because Monty was in the next room.
2 rooms over.
And not... I mean, she was asleep, but I couldn't hear her snoring.
No. Well, because whenever we do investigations, I put the dogs in their kennels so that they can't
interfere with
screw anything up.
But the sound is like right next to the microphone.
Yeah, when you played it for me, it gave me like the heebie-jeebies because it doesn't sound like it's coming from the box. It sounds like my dog snoring.
Next to the microphone.
Yeah, and it's not.
So I tried, we're going to play it, but I was like, okay, it's not Monty. is it the floor squeaking? It does not sound like the floorboard's squeaking either.
No, because the floorboards upstairs are very, like...
They're high-pitched. This was
very
like a
classic,
weird...
high-pitched, creaky noises.
Yeah, and this sounded like a dog, so not sure what's happening here. But take a listen. You don't have anything to say to us? Next on the spirit box, we heard a girl's voice say, "I'm here." And we're like...
It was, like, really clear, too.
Yeah. And we're like, "Oh, you're here? What's your... Like, who are you? What's your name?" And a man responded.
Yeah, which is very weird.
It sounded like he said what could be Reese.
Yeah.
That's what we heard. So...
But it's not close enough to where, like, no, that definitely says Reese.
Yeah.
It's more like the last male name. It could be Scott or it could be Reese.
We don't know, but here it is. You're here?
Can you tell us your name?
The next thing we heard on the spirit box was a little iffy.
Makes me question my taking down my salt and obsidian choice.
but actually, so like we hear this kid or this girl or whatever, "I'm here," and so
we're going with it.
That we went with that, and I'm like, "Oh, how old are you?" And immediately, a man comes to, and it's a man. It's not a child. And you can tell, you can hear the difference. It's pretty significant. We hear a man come through and go, 6. And in the audio clip, like, you can't see, like, our reaction to it. We looked at each other and we were, like, paused for a second because we were having, like, a silent reaction to it. And I was like, didn't sound 6.
Because it, like, just the voice sounds like...
You can't spin it to make it sound 6. And...
It was creepy.
It was not good. And I was like, oh, that didn't sound 6. And then a few seconds later, a little boy, it's a little boy or a little girl. To me, it sounds like a little boy. A child comes through and goes, 6. Like,
here, fixed it for you.
Right. And then I was like, oh, that didn't, I think it's in the clip too. I'm like, oh, that didn't feel good, because I'm like, at first I was like, okay, that's weird. It's like, it's saying it's 6 years old. And we already know how, like, bad entities and human shit likes to, like, play these weird games, like the
Annabelle last episode, case in point.
So I was just like, that feels weird. And then I'm like, doesn't sound 6. I don't know. And then it was quickly followed up by probably the creepiest laugh I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, it's like,
it's like maniacal, wicked
Witch of the West laugh.
Kind of.
Like, it's...
Yeah, it was...
What? And we didn't hear that in the moment either.
No, and that was like a pretty... Like, it almost was like... Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like we fooled you, haha, or whatever. Yeah. Just listen to it for yourself. How old are you? After hearing that, we were like, you know what? I think it's best that we just kind of cut off any communication with any bad shit.
We're just going to give a little reminder.
Yeah.
Because we always start off the sessions like, if you're not of light and love, you're not welcome to communicate with us.
And get the hell out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we just thought this would be a great time to dish out a very kind reminder.
Well, a stern but friendly reminder to leave immediately.
Yeah. So we decided we're going to leave that in because you guys never get to hear us do that.
Right. And like we do it.
Oh, yeah.
So just for the sake of making you feel like you're there. And
yeah, here you go.
And all that. Here's that. If you're not a kind entity, you are not welcome here.
Not my house.
After our spiel, Sarah's cat Sushi decided that he would just like leave the room, and so we made a joke, like, or I think you made a joke.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh well, he's like, oh, I'm not of light and love. I gotta get out of here.
Because he's not. The cat's an asshole.
He's not of light and love. Not even kind of. No. Darkness and disdain.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll sit on the stairs, and if you're watching this, you'll see like my staircase in the videos that I'm posting. He'll just sit on the stairs and like look over and just judge
The whole room.
And he'll focus on one person and just sit there.
Yep.
And stare. It's like he's the most judgmental freaking cat.
Yep.
But so I made the joke, like, oh, he's got to go because I'm not of light and love. And then you hear the spirit box go, true. Like, clear as day, just...
Yep. At least everybody knows who Sush is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bidding for the devil over here. She's like, I'm not of light, I'm gonna get out.
True that. At this point, our friend on the Connect had gone. He was gone. And we were like, you know what? Maybe it's time to like step away from the spirit box, doing some weird shit. So, pulled the dowsing rods out.
Those are quickly becoming like one of my favorite things to watch. She made me use them this time, and I'm not a fan.
You have to. I want to go on a ghost investigation, but I do not want to find any ghosts.
I don't mind using the other equipment. I think with the dowsing rods, I'm so shaky and I'll just twitch. And I'm like terrified that I'm going to like fake some weird response or something.
Yeah, I get it. But science, man.
Science.
Got to do it for science. And so I pulled them out, and I'm the first one to use them because other people are scared. And I'm like, you can move them however you want, but like cross for yes, straight for no. Like, let's get some stuff moving. Move them however you see fit. And on the spirit box, we push.
Yeah, and there's like a pause between them, and it's kind of quiet. But when I listen to it, I'm like, we push. Like, yes, push the rods. That's the point.
Exactly that. Yep. You can feel free to move them however you see fit and however fits your answer the best, okay? So I went on kind of like a long-winded rant on how to use the dowsing rods, but I gotta make sure everybody knows how to use them.
Yeah, well...
Otherwise, there's no point.
In previous investigations, we've explained how to use the box, and then explained again later.
Yep.
And then got things.
Yep.
So we're always just keeping whoever shows up informed, I'd say.
So I'm explaining it or whatever, and then on the spirit box we hear, won't hurt.
Yeah. And we took that as in like...
Couldn't hurt to use it, or like won't
hurt us.
Won't hurt you, won't hurt us. But yeah, won't hurt. When I heard it, my first reaction was just like, oh, I guess can't hurt. Like,
yeah.
Like it's just a copper rod. Like, won't hurt. Yeah. Remember, cross the rods for yes, spread apart for no. I do want to say, before we like get super deep into the dowsing rod situation, if you're not watching on YouTube,
do it.
Thank you. But so dowsing rods, I don't even know if I'm sitting on the floor at this point.
I don't think not yet.
I don't know. And so I ask, like, hey, can you spread the rods apart? And quite immediately after, we hear switch, like really loud.
Yeah, like loud.
And then, and I don't know what that's in reference to. right? I don't know if it's, at this point, we're like, we don't know if it's in reference to, like, us switching, like, who's using the dowsing rods or whatever. But then when we played it back, we could hear, after the switch, speak, turn.
Yeah.
And, like, you thought last time, it might have said, like, speak in turn, speak your turn or something.
I feel like there's, like, something, and it could just be part of the TN turn, because it's, like, skipping the frequencies, but to me, it almost sounds like speak your turn, or speak in turn. Like, there's this tiny little thing that I can hear, and maybe it's just me going crazy. That very well could be
it. Once I don't hear anything that you hear. And you don't hear anything I hear, so...
Sometimes we hear such different things, it's crazy.
But, so I don't know if the switch... Now I'm like, is the switch like, oh, like, let's switch who's...
Speaking through,
or, like, using the dowsing rods.
And I want to point out that we're always talking about, can you speak one at a time?
Always.
Because a lot of the time, we'll hear, like, 3 or 4 things at a time come through in the box, and we're like... I don't know how you guys do this, but can you pick a spokesperson?
Right, because we don't understand.
Yeah, so maybe that's a reference to that.
I don't know, but here it is. Can you spread them even further apart, make them face completely different directions for me, if the answer is no? So we're, like, trying desperately to get some kind of reaction on the dowsing rods, like answers through the dowsing rods, because they're not my favorite of all the tools, but I like them, and I'd like to get some responses on them occasionally. And so we're like, oh, are you enjoying talking to us? And on the spirit box you can hear yeah.
Yeah, and I heard that in the moment, and I reacted to it, and I'm like, yeah. Like, I was just like, wow.
Oh, good. Yay.
But I think it's cool that, like, I'm always excited when we hear things in the moment, and then we hear them later in evidence review, and it's the same.
I love it. It never happens, right?
Like, that, like, happens, like, maybe once in investigation.
Very few and far between.
But it's cool when it happens.
Have you liked talking to us tonight? If you haven't seen dowsing rods before, or you haven't, like, caught us talking about them in previous episodes, very quick rundown. 99.9% copper. I think it's, like, the best that you can do, unless, like, somebody makes them for you.
Yeah.
They're in a little tubey, and the rod just, like, swings back and forth. It can swing almost in a full circle. I mean, obviously not if you're holding it. It will just come around and hit you in the arms. That's my quick rundown.
Yeah.
They used to be used to find water, and now they're used to find energy.
Long story short, watch us on YouTube. You get to see them in action.
Right. just do. So I wanted, like, a vast movement of the dowsing rods, because, like, minuscule movements could be breathing. It could be, I don't know, because I try not to even breathe when I'm using the dowsing rods, which is probably half my issue. Yeah. But I'm like, don't breathe.
I think that if we get a full-on swing of the rod, you would have to move to do that.
Yeah.
And you would be able to catch your, like, the flick of your wrist or your hand moving in order to make that full swing. And so we're always asking, hey, can you swing these around and hit my arm, like, come all the way around to hit, you know, my arm or whatever? Because I feel like that's a really valid response.
Right. And so I'm like, hey, do that. Make them, like, swing around, hit me in the arm. And I would say something along the lines of, like, don't worry about hurting me, just, like, do it. Whatever. And then on the spirit box, you hear heart attack.
Yeah. Like, it's pretty clear, too.
Yeah. And so I don't know why we're talking about a heart attack.
I don't know if a previous owner or a previous person who lived here had a heart attack. I can't really find much on the previous owners, which kind of sucks.
No, yeah. Or if it's about, like, not wanting to hurt me because I'm going to have a heart attack. I don't know.
No, if anybody, I'm going to have a heart attack.
Right.
My friggin' reactions.
True that. Don't worry about hurting me. Just make it happen. Make both of the rods go to either side of my body.
Trying. You're getting there.
The wild thing is I can like feel the energy in it. Good job. Can you make him go all the way around? I know it takes a lot of energy, but you're really doing a great job.
Temperature dropped another degree and then nothing's spiking.
Come on, you can do it. Don't get lazy on me now. Oh. I'm doing it for the record, that was a joke, no offense. Maybe not the best time to make a joke. Here, can you make them touch my arms?
Sure.
Yeah, do it. Can you make the other one touch my arm? Please? I caught on my nail. I'm trying to move it, but I don't know.
Okay.
There, okay. Can you make it touch my arm now? Sorry, I got caught on my nail. Don't worry about hurting me, just make it happen. So like that. Exactly like that. At this point, Sushi decided that he would insert himself into the investigation as per usual.
Yeah.
And so Sarah's like, knock it off, like you're moving the camera or whatever.
Because he was walking in and out of the tripod legs and was like hitting the camera and it was moving the camera. Mm-hmm. So I'm yelling at the cat, I'm like, can you just not do this? And I'm like frustrated. Mm-hmm. And then you hear in the spirit box, cat. Like 3 times, all young voices talking about this cat. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, take him to the underworld, please. Right. For the record, I'm kidding, don't kill my cat, but...
If anything happens to Sushi now, you have some, like, huge amounts of repentance to do.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well... Sushi, come on. I said cat again. I said cat again.
I like to put Sarah into uncomfortable situations.
You know what I feel like? I feel like I'm Aaron from Ghost Adventures. Like, he's always being put into, like, the frickin' morgue by himself.
Does that mean I'm Zach Bagans?
Yeah, you can be Zach Bagans.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
You know, both good and bad.
Okay.
Okay.
That's how I feel about being Aaron, too.
I like to make her comfortable and just, like, if I could leave you alone in a room, I just would. But I think you would just, like, die.
I would die.
So I wouldn't do that. But I'm like, oh, hey, look, do you guys want Sarah to hold the dowsing rods? Like, speak up now. And they definitely did.
Yeah, because you hear, yeah, the spirit box, like 3 times. And then I think... I don't know if it's in the clip or not, but you look at me like, well, I think they've spoken.
Yeah, looks like you have to. Cross the rods if you think that you want Sarah to hold them. Listen, Sarah's too freaked out to be doing this. So I think Sarah had like a little mini sesh of dowsing rods on the floor. Mm-hmm. And while we're doing that, like, we both heard... I hesitate to call it singing.
It was like humming.
Like a singing / humming.
Kind of like if you're gonna hum to yourself while you're doing dishes.
Yeah.
Like, it was just something quiet and light like that. And we heard it at the same time because we both were like, we locked eyes and we're like... And it got louder. Mm-hmm. Like, it'll stop for a second and then it would pick up and it would stop. Mm-hmm. And it was freaking wild. Are you singing? Fine.
getting louder.
That's getting louder.
Mm-hmm. You fucking asshole. Beat my pants. To me, it sounds like it's like.
Yeah.
Right? Is it just me?
No.
I don't hear it now.
Is it on the box?
To me, it sounds like it's behind the box.
Well, it sounds like...
It's like... Well, to me, it feels like it's all around me.
No, I hear it. It's right there. That's why I'm not looking over there, because it's dark.
But it got louder.
It did. It got louder. It was like a steady crescendo. And I was like, spoiler, I didn't really get any responses on the dowsing rods. Probably because I'm just so freaking nervous to hold them. No one wants to come up and like... I just imagine like the ghosts walking up and like using one finger to like push them, you know?
Yeah.
Like just here.
So I don't know. I think when I picture it, it's like they're just like trying to make like telekinesis.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I think. I don't know which one's more accurate.
I don't know. Probably yours. But so I didn't really get anything on the rods when I was using them, but I kept hearing this singing. And I think I kind of gave up at this point with the rods. And I was like, you know what? This is your turn. I'm not getting anything. I just keep twitching and like faking myself out. So here. And you went to go like adjust the Connect camera. And you weren't looking at me. And I start going, ah, and I scared the shit out of you.
If you're sensitive to vulgar language, I would suggest skipping forward about 15 or so seconds.
But in the midst of you yelling at me for scaring you, she gets me back pretty good. Because once she steps away from the computer screen, I can see that there's in fact a figure right next to me on the Connect. So we thought we'd insert that clip here because it's funny. Yeah. And then you can hear like our genuine reaction to the figure.
Yeah, true that.
Get the flashlight out.
There we go.
Fucking Christ, you stupid bitch.
Holy shit!
Oh, that's definitely going in the video.
You know what else is super funny? But just say what? Did that just say what?
Why does this happen to us?
That just said what? And you know what's really funny? What?
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
I have goosebumps all over my body.
Alright, well.
Well, I fucking thought you were. Not you.
Okay.
Alright, y'all.
Are you,
So I've got this flashlight here.
is that you? Is that you? Look at the rods, look at the rods, look at the rods, look at the rods. For the video, there's a figure on the Connect next to me. And the rod's pointing at it.
Got this flashlight here.
I laughed and I moved, I'm sorry.
Got a flashlight. I'm gonna turn it to where you barely even gotta touch it for the light to turn on.
Are you pointing at yourself with the rods?
Oh, you can't even see it. I looked right into this motherfucker. Oh, it's set up.
Yeah. Okay. I am level. Wow, where are we going? Wow! 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 Are you trying to get the cat? What are you putting behind me for? I don't like that. Where are you going? Don't fuck me up, dude.
I don't really know where to put this.
Okay, go.
Okay, so I've got this flashlight. Walks around. He's fine. Sorry. I got this flashlight here. Oh, okay. You barely have to touch it to turn it on. Wouldn't be offended.
Is that why it keeps pointing over here?
Mm.
Because it just showed up in the Connect?
Maybe.
Are you trying to tell us that you're sitting next to me? Can you cross the rod over the other one for yes?
Can you turn the flashlight on for me? It's on the floor next to Sarah.
When have we
Thank you so much.
This much going on. I could throw up right now.
So, could you do it again, please? Even for like a half second, if you can. That'd be awesome.
Oh, my figure popped back up and I connected. I'm like, it's like a moment where I'm like, shit.
Do you think you could turn it back on for me for just 1 second? You did so good the first time.
Can you turn on the flashlight? Please?
Thank you so much.
I'm here. We're here and holding some dollar cards.
Indeed. So our last few clips, we're just gonna, group them because they're all kind of together. Is all responses via flashlight?
Yes. And normally we don't have good luck with the flashlight.
Never. Really never.
No.
Like, I think it's turned on like once in your house.
Well, once in my house and then once at National House Inn, I think that was valid.
Yeah.
Just
and
once.
I think that's it. And then maybe one time at Hotel Kanya, but
nothing in that hotel was valid.
Yeah. So. Sorry to people who have expressed otherwise to us.
Hate mail.
Everybody has to get hate mail. It's a sign of success.
Yeah. Hey, man, I think it's entertaining.
Yeah.
If
you're watching, you'll probably be our 7th view on this video.
That's not an incentive to send me hate mail for entertainment. Please.
Yeah, please don't send us hate mail. It's fine. But the next series of clips is kind of like, hey, can you turn the flashlight on the count of 3, or can you do it on a countdown from 5 or whatever?
Yeah, I freak out. Yeah.
And so, like, I don't really want to get into them, like, too heavily because...
You'll hear it.
There is a clip in the middle, though, that we're, like, discussing, like, what is causing all of this activity. We can't figure it out. We're, like, debunking, individual things.
We were baffled because we've never had this much activity. And it was a continuous stream of activity.
Yep.
And so we're like, something has changed in this room. Like, something is different.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? So we're, like, just going through the list of everything it could possibly be that could cause anything that was going on.
Yep. And the spirit box says, it's me.
It does, yeah.
I think it's like the 3rd clip in or whatever, so definitely listen for that.
Yeah, it's me.
So here's those.
Because it just showed up in the Connect? Maybe. Are you trying to tell us that you're sitting next to me? Can you cross the rod over the other one for yes?
Can you turn the flashlight on for me? It's on the floor next to Sarah.
When have we
Thank you so much.
This much going on. I could throw up right now.
So, could you do it again, please? Even for like a half second, if you can. That'd be awesome.
Oh, my figure popped back up and I connected. I'm like, it's like a moment where I'm like, shit.
Do you think you could turn it back on for me for just 1 second? You did so good the first time.
Can you turn on the flashlight? Please?
Thank you so much.
I'm here. We're here and holding some dowsing rods.
Indeed.
Can you make the rods point back at Lex? Oh, that was me. I twitched. Ah! Okay, your turn with the rods. I keep twitching. My arms are getting tired. So I'm like holding
I don't
still.
even know if I want the flashlight to do. Oh,
Was that me getting up though?
it shouldn't have been.
Okay, let me try.
Oh, he moved the thing too. I don't know if that was on
Sit
camera.
back down again. Here we are, sitting down with the flashlight. Okay.
Okay, on the count of 3, turn the flashlight on. Okay, on 3. Or right after 3, whatever works for you, okay? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm like,
So she's like, it's okay.
you
Okay.
didn't like me, bro.
All right. One more time. I won't ask again. Do it on the count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. No flashlight response on that one. If that's you, turn it off and back on right away. We gotta know these things.
It flickered.
All the way off and then back on. Please.
We're both on it.
We're just dancing.
What is happening? We've never had this much freaking activity. Light on for yes. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Freaking Christ, Lex!
So that's is that an objection? So I said,
Whatever
do
yes
we
was,
have
'cause I
any-
told to say yes.
Okay, so if you don't want me to turn off. So it's late now. We're like, time to go to bed. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the activity was still happening, but we're like, it's
Late.
We have to be up early. Sorry.
So did the whole spiel of like, If you're of light and love, you can hang out, but we're not talking anymore.
Yeah, the communication's ended.
Yeah, if you're not of light and love, why are you still here? That whole
There's
spiel.
the door.
Right. Do ghosts even need doors? I don't know. Either way, we're like, it's time to finish because it's late. So we do that, and that was it.
Yeah, I think we stood there for a good 10 minutes afterwards.
Just like, what the hell just happened?
I know, we were amping each other up. We're like, what? There's something has changed in this house. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's the most activity we've ever had. And we were just going, I'm sure the dogs thought we were nuts because we were going nuts.
We're both on these manic ramblings. We're just like, what was that? And we're not even listening to each other. We're just talking over each other.
Yeah, we're both going at the same time, just walking in circles, cleaning everything up.
We still don't know what
should have gotten that on camera.
We really should have, because we were just like, what the fuck? So yeah, that was the investigation. If you're listening on the podcast, you're wrong. Go watch it. Now go watch it on YouTube.
Listen, please, for the rest of the episode.
Podcast and got a few minutes left of this one, but.
Yeah, just pop over to the YouTube because the video clips that we have are slightly too long to post on all of the social media.
Yep.
And sometimes that just happens, and sometimes we have all these visuals, and sometimes I can't even put all the pictures into the social media, so I end up putting in the YouTube videos. So if you're listening to this and you haven't watched on YouTube yet, you're missing out, especially for the investigation episodes. At least watch for those.
I totally get preferring podcast.
Oh yeah, same.
Because I prefer podcast 90% of the time, so I get it. But
at least for the investigation episodes.
Yes.
And if you're already watching on YouTube, you've heard us say this probably 6 times now. We're sorry that you've had to listen to it, even though you're watching me right now. But thanks for sticking around.
It's fine. So let us know if there's anything that you heard on the audio clips that we either didn't hear or you think that we heard wrong.
Yeah.
Because we want to know. Let us know on any of our social media sites. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Sunday Night Spookies, and on Twitter at Sunday Spookies.
We also have a few links in our description box. These are affiliate links. If you'd like to use them, we do get a small kickback from them. Mm-hmm. But we have a link for Instacart. I hate grocery shopping. In fact, I really need to get groceries right now, and I've been putting it off. So, I usually use Instacart. You basically can just get your groceries delivered to your door. It's an amazing service, especially right now while we're finding our way out of a pandemic. Still.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And it's monsooning. I don't want to go in and out. It's been raining for days here.
And it's going to rain
4 days.
For 2 more weeks.
So I'm definitely going to be ordering my groceries. Mm-hmm. If you use our link, you get free delivery on your first $30 order or more. We also have a Buzzsprout link. If you want to start your own podcast, it's a great way to pass your time. Especially right now, neither one of us are in school right now. Mm-hmm. So this is a great way to keep ourselves busy and productive. So you get an Amazon gift card if you want to use our link for that. Mm-hmm. We also have a donate to our show link. If you are feeling humble and gracious, or if there's a topic you want us to look into, or a location near the Midwest you'd particularly like us to visit, you can go ahead and leave us a kind donation if you see fit, and we will give you a shout out. But anything we receive goes right back into giving you guys better and more content, so we highly appreciate everything. Also, don't forget to share, subscribe, hit the notification bell on YouTube so you get the notifications when we post. And rate on Apple Podcasts. You guys wouldn't believe how much just hitting the 5-star button and leaving a review helps us in the charts on Apple Podcasts. You could tell me your favorite color. I don't care what you put in the review box. Just rate it.
We'll have to put in some. We'll have to come up with some secret code so people who listen to the podcast can be like, this is the secret password.
Or put a riddle in the episode so that they can answer the riddle in the reviews.
Yeah. So people who are reading the reviews are like, what the hell is this about?
Yeah. It does not matter what you put in the reviews as long as you rate it. Mm-hmm. More people will see it.
Clicking the buttons on all the things.
Yeah.
It's very helpful.
Very helpful.
Yep. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Sunday Night Spookies.
Join us next week for our episode about the dark web and the deep web. They're 2 different things, if you didn't know.
New episodes are released every Sunday evening. Thanks so much for listening, and as always,
stay spooky.